What is going on, guys? Coach Joe here at the Lions Den located in Colmar, PA. In this video, we're gonna be covering sled variations, okay? So if you're involved with strength sports, or maybe you just like conditioning or have a gym, you know, whatever, I'm sure you've seen sleds before, okay? We're a big fan of doing sled work. I've been doing sled work since I was a teenager, involved with sports, and it's just always been something that I've included in my training, just for overall GPP, kind of getting my heart rate up, warming up, and just building that work capacity. So a lot of great things you can do with sleds. So in this video, we just want to show you. Now, before we get into it, we have a couple of different sleds here that we use every single day, okay? So this is a Rogue sled. It's a little bit cheaper than the dog sled, but basically the same thing. I think it's like the Echo dog sled. This is the actual dog sled. So this is like our heavy duty sled that we use for pushing, pulling, etc. And this is, I forget exactly what they call it on Rogue, but it's basically a cheaper sled that can fold up. So you can throw in the back of your car, your truck, whatever, take it to a park. So it's just easy to use and very versatile. It is a light sled. So if you are looking for kind of how we laid out, it's always like a light, medium, and heavy sled here. And depending on the athletes that we have people who are really advanced, okay? We have people who just start. So that's kind of how we pick and choose who goes on what sled. And that kind of helps also break up the weight differences. So we're gonna get into it, guys, just giving you really quick different variations for the sled and kind of just talking about all sleds today. So let's go. All right, guys, so first variation is just gonna be a backward sled drag. Now, the reason I like these is because it takes the upper body out of the equation. All right, she has, actually we're using a Rogue dip belt around her hips, and then we're just attaching this to, with a little bit of chain to the sled, okay? So that's kind of our setup. Now, we don't want to be too close to the sled because then obviously it's hard to walk and get a good stride out of it. So that's why we have a chain that's attached to this, so it gives her space. You can do these for as many sets as you want, depending on the distance and how heavy you want to go. Right now, we have about 50 feet worth of sled dragging. So she's just going to show you guys a basic sled drag. So just using this all coming from the legs and the hips. Very simple, very effective. And there you have it. So that's just your basic backward sled drag. All right, so the first variation you saw Coach Tanya doing was just a backward drag with the belt around her hips, no upper body included. Now, if you want to include your upper body a little bit, okay, she has these smaller straps now, and she's just going to keep good tension with her upper body and just drag it backwards. So slightly different variation. Now we're just including a little bit more upper body in with this variation, and she's gonna help warm her back up. Also, her biceps are looking outrageous right now. So if you guys are trying to flex on them homies at the gym, do a backwards drag and squeeze your arms really tight. Now, Coach Tanya is actually doing a frontward drag. So this is going to hit more quad focus because we're moving in that forward plane, okay? So if you're looking to do some sort of drag while using the harness around your hips and you want to hit more quads, you can face forward. She could also sprint with it if she wanted to, change the difference in the tempo with how she's moving. But we're just trying to throw a ton of different variations for you guys in there. All right, now if you're looking for kind of another variation that's gonna be a little bit more explosive and full body, we're gonna do a sled drag with a fly, okay? So you guys may have seen me do these before in my training, but it's something I really like just for getting your heart rate up, building a little bit of explosiveness and athleticism into your training. So when we're here, we want to make sure that we have longer straps so we have space. I actually like kind of letting the sled pull my arms all the way forward. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull back and then fly. And you can notice that I open my hips all the way and then I proceed to do the fly. So kind of step back, load up, big fly just like so. Coming down, pulling. We want to make sure we have the distance so that the sled doesn't hit our feet. So make sure the weight's heavy enough and you have a good amount of distance, because if this is super light, it's going to come flying at you uncontrollably. And if it catches your toe, that really sucks. And I don't want that to happen to you. So arms are straight, loading the hips, big pull. And that is going to be a drag plus a fly. So looking for something a little bit more athletic and explosive, throw these in. You can do as many sets and as reps as you want, or cover some distance. Use it for explosiveness. Maybe you're gonna go a little bit heavier, less reps, or if you're trying to warm up, get your heart rate up, you can do it for more reps, lighter weight, full body stimulus. So unlike the explosive one, we can also just do a sled row. So basically let your arms Be pulled all the way forward, drive back. Okay, take a couple steps back, driving back with our elbows. So we're just doing basically a sled row. So it's not gonna be as explosive, but it's gonna allow you to kind of warm up your back, hit the legs a little bit, and just another variation for you guys to try. Now, if you're really trying to hit the legs in a different way, sometimes what we will do is just gonna be a sideways drag, okay? So I'm gonna pull, and I'm gonna let my leg cross over just like so, okay? So if you're looking to target your legs a little bit more, trying to work on the outside of the legs, you can do side steps with the sled using the strap. All right, now the infamous one you guys probably all know is just gonna be a sled push. Now there's a couple different ways we can do this, all right? It's up to you guys if you wanna keep your arms straight or bend your arms. Okay, we do both, so sometimes we push the sled with straight arms like so. Other times, we kind of put a little bit more lean into it and we're pressing and pushing just like this. Now, what you guys probably see, right, is people sprinting with the sleds. Now, that's one variation, okay, so I'll show that, and then I'm gonna show you something else you can do. So, if we're here, okay, driving the knees, pushing the sled. Now, the other variation we can do is what we call a sled trudge. So basically, I'm gonna push the sled out all the way out, and when I do this, I wanna make sure that my heel is in contact with the floor every single time. Okay, so that's just going to deliver a different stimulus. You're going to feel this not only in your calves, but also the hamstrings as well. Okay, so typically a lot of people are just going to be on the balls of their feet, which is totally fine. But for a trudge, we go really heavy, and we'll push with the whole heel strength down on the ground. Okay, so that kind of mimics just kind of trudging up a hill, but delivering a little bit different of a stimulus by engaging some muscles slightly differently when we let that heel completely hit the ground each time. Now, obviously, these are the basics. You guys can get super creative with it. You can do some single arm work. All right, we've seen people who kind of sit low, push their back against the sled, and they're driving it that way. We've done arm over arm pulls with the sled. So the world is your oyster. We just want to give you guys some basics and emphasize that we really like sleds here. Especially if you're in the sport of strongman, you're probably going to use a sled at some point or have some sort of drag in an event or a medley that you do. So it can be sport specific, but that's all we had, guys. Take these, try to throw them into your training. I think they're gonna work great, whether it's to warm up, get your heart rate up, or just kind of get in some explosive and athleticism to your training. But as always, guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and if you guys want a more in-depth look at our community, go to Facebook. In the Facebook search bar, type in The Iron Lions, and you guys can be accepted into our private Facebook group where we put tons of tips, tricks, we do form critiques, we throw articles in there, and it's just a great hub of people who all pretty much have the same goals that you do, but it's a community for you guys all to hang out and discuss training, etc. So that's all we have for today, guys. Head on over to zachstrength.net if you're looking for some programming. We have tons of programs on there. I'm sure something is going to cater to your needs. But until then, stay a lean, mean strength machine. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.